Clinch and it is not good.
And Kent takes a pitch low. 3 balls and 1 strike.
If there's ever a game that you could put personal quests ahead of a team's quest, this would be the game. Nothing on the line, but really the fact that Bonds would have a chance to get 40 stolen bases to match his 40 home runs, I think that would be the theme of today's ball game.
And the breaking ball is in at the knees. 3-2. Yeah, normally you wouldn't want to do this jockey around with Kent trying to knock you in.
And you wouldn't think about stealing a bag with 2 outs. But all those things aside, he has a chance to do something nobody has ever done before in Major League Baseball history, and that's do 40-40 twice. So why not?
Ashby now steps off.
On the other hand, Jeff Kent is 1 home run away from 30. And you know that is something he has never done in his career, and he'd like to put his name on that sheet that says he's a 30 home run a year guy.
Swing and a miss, and Kent strikes out to end the inning. No runs, a base hit. Bonds is stranded at second base. We'll head to the second. 0-0.
Giants Baseball on Sports Channel is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. With fares so low, you have the freedom to go places. By the Discover Card, proud partner of the Smithsonian's 150th anniversary. By Aflac, insuring over 40 million people worldwide. By the new Dodge, California's truck stop. By Kragen, for fast, friendly service, there's only one place to shop for auto parts. And by Bud Light, if you want great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light.
Lots of youngins at the ballpark today in the bright sun, protected with a hat. Well, not now. Many signs that people have brought. Well, let's go fishing. That's not bad.
The Marlins, referred to as the fish. Fry the fish.
Any way you like your fish, the Giants fans will prepare it that way for you.
We've seen some great signs here last couple of weeks.
Here's Derek Lee with a huge swing and a miss, and it's 0-1. Just get the feeling that we got some people that want to hit some home runs today. Seeing some gigantic swings, and that pitch is outside.
This is really kind of a very similar feel to this ball game that you would have the last day of spring training, ready to head north. Everybody thinking about a game that is going to be played somewhere else, some other time. And for the Giants, that some of their time will be Tuesday in Florida when they take the field against the Marlins for game 1 of their playoffs.
You'll be there, right?
I was thinking about going. How about you?
Yeah.
And you had to cancel a couple of golf games, but it was a pleasure to do so.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Derek Lee. On deck, George Arias and then Manny Romero. Second inning. Glad you joined us on Sports Channel. Lovely afternoon at the ballpark. And a shot into center field, a base hit. And Derek Lee, who's got those long arms, got one over the plate. This is the way the series is laid out when the Giants take on the Marlins. Reeder against Brown in the first game, and the second game Estes against Leiter, a pair of left-handers. And then on Friday back here at 3Com, Alex Fernandez against Wilson Alvarez, and then Saturday and Sunday if necessary. We'll see Kirk Reeder, who will pitch on Tuesday. And here's a ground ball to Jeff Cannon, and it could be 2. There's 1 and the pair. 4-6-3 double play.
Boy, Rapp doing a nice job of getting that ball in tight to George Arias. Rapp's ball doesn't really sink, but it'll run flat into a right-hander, and this goes right up his bat, breaks his bat, but a nice little easy ground ball to Jeff Kent, which enables him to get the one hopper over to Vizcaino and complete the double play.
Here's Manny Romero. You know, you always see pictures of the guys who ended the game, but the guy who started the game yesterday, Wilson Alvarez, pitched his best game as a Giant. No doubt about it.
Well, he said that himself.
A shot to JT Snow, and that'll end the inning. So Reeder gives up a single in a double play. A ball hit hard by Romero, and after 1.5, it's 0-0. Well, you'll be one of the select few to be there on opening day 2000. 911 days before the opening of Pac Bell Park. Imagine the incredible sight lines and views of the Bay and San Francisco as you take your exclusive seat in this intimate classic old-time ballpark. Call 1-800-5-GIANTS now to guarantee that you will always have a permanent seating location in what is going to be the most fantastic ballpark you have ever seen. 1-800-5-GIANTS.
Well, there's the weather forecast for Florida. Florida's 5-day forecast. You've got snow, Bonds, Kent, Vizcaino, and beat FLA. Very clever. I like it.
That is. Way to go. You know, you just take an old sign and you add to it.
Piece of cake.
That's great. Here's JT Snow. JT batting .282, 104 RBIs. He takes the pitch at the knees for a strike. Jim Poole is throwing in the bullpen.
Dusty Baker is going to split up the 9 innings amongst his staff.
Jim Poole
might have 5 or 6 guys out there piecing together the 9 innings. Jim Poole going to get at least one.
JT, a slow roller that gets by Ashby, and the second baseman Volandia makes the play. Here's another great moment from 1997.
Right fielder, number 3.
Deep in center field, and this one is over. And this game is tied. That was off of Ricky Bottalico in Philadelphia on April 16th, and I believe that was an 8th inning game-tying home run.
Yeah, he hit a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. Bottalico was just blowing some severe gas that night, and G. Hill got up there and promptly pumped one out well over the fence and almost straightaway center field. He did it again against the right-hander for the Florida Marlins, their hard thrower.
Wasn't Nen, was it?
Rob Nen, who's going to be a pitcher the Giants are going to have to deal with in this upcoming series. But you know, those are like bragging rights when you can take guys that throw that hard deep.
Here's the 1-1 offering to Glenn Allen Hill, and it takes a strike. 1-2.
Glad you helped me out with Nen there. I had a vapor lock.
He's a palindrome. I know all those guys.
I can't believe you know what a palindrome is.
One of the first things we learned on the farm. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and Hill takes a close pitch, and it's outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. It would only be better if his first name was Bob. Bob Nen. That would be perfect.
So palindrome is
back and forth.
Spelled the same way, huh? So Bob Nen would be your kind of guy.
Yep.
He's Rob Nen.
Inside to
We
make
can
it
call
3.
him Bob, though.
Yeah. We had a friend of my daughter's come over to the house the other day. Her name was Anna, A-N-N-A. I said, you know what a palindrome is? And she looked at me like I was an idiot.
She's 7 years old, huh?
Yeah. Swing and a miss, and Hill strikes out.
And she knew what it was.
Absolutely.
Well, the potential division series at 3Com Park. What are they talking about? Potential division. This is serious. This is going to happen. Starts next Friday against the Florida Marlins and continues with possible games on Saturday and Sunday. Series is best of 3 out of 5. Tickets are still available for each game, and you can get tickets at the 3Com Park Gate B ticket window, all Giants dugout stores, and Bass Ticket Outlet, or by calling the Bass Phone Center at 510-762-BALL.
What was that word?
They actually put potential in there. This is going to happen. This is the real deal. You know, it does still seem like a dream, I tell you.
She's got her pom-poms out.
She'll be ready here next Friday.
Here's the 0-1 pitch to Vizcaino, and it's up high. 1 ball and 1 strike. Brian Johnson on deck. So you were saying earlier, as Bonds was coming to the plate, that the troops had a good time last night.
Yes, they did.
And Vizcaino down the right field line, and this is going to get by Sweeney. 1 hop up against the wall, and now he drops it. And Vizcaino says, hey, why not? We won the division. I'm going to third. And he does.
Seventh triple of the year for Jose Vizcaino. He gets an inside pitch and puts a good swing on it, and he sniffed double all the way. And once it got down there in the corner, and Mark Sweeney had a little trouble with it, he took advantage of it, and he just put in another gear right here. He starts really long stepping, sniffing that 3-bagger.
So here's Brian Johnson with Vizcaino at third and 2 down. And the pitch and a strike in the outside corner. A ball got away from the Giants bullpen. There's a cute little young lady. Blue jean cap with a bow on it. Chewing on that finger.
I'm not quite sure of that guy with the camera.
Look at this. Dad in the front row shaking his head. Told you not to bring the kids.
No, it's because I don't believe I'm wearing this hat.
And that's a strike to Brian Johnson. I can't believe they made me wear this.
Jeez. Got the girls there watching a ball game.
What a good group we got today.
You know, we were sitting there last night, or yesterday in the afternoon, when the game was over and the Giants were in the middle of the field and they were celebrating. He said to me, turn around and look at the stands. We were in the dugout on the first step watching the festivities on the field. I turned around and looked up at the reaction that the fans had, and it was just magic.
It's frozen.
It really is. It's so much fun to see everybody smiling and just going off at the same time, and then having it just prolong. It was a moment that lasted about 10 minutes.
This is a ground ball to third. Arias has it, and he'll throw on to Lee to retire the side. No runs, a hit. The Giants strand Vizcaino at third. Third inning is coming up. It's 0-0.
Motel 6 is renovating all across America. You'll find free local calls, morning coffee, so much new stuff we had to speed things up just to fit it all in. I'm Tom Bodette for the new Motel 6, and
we'll leave the light on for you.
Well, it's the top of the third inning, and it's 0-0. And now let's check out a moment from the great year that we had and saw from Sean Estes.
1-2. Struck him out. Sean Estes, a 2-hit shutout. The first complete game of his professional career. An absolutely marvelous performance. He strikes out 9, walks only 1, and allows only 2 singles. And tonight, he has grown up.
And Bonds will track this down into left center field off the bat of Jorge Volandia. There's Sean Estes, and what a great year this kid has had.
19-game winner, and that was one of 2 shutouts he would go on to throw in 1997. What was significant about that start in Houston was that was the first time he ever took a 2-seam fastball into a game. And talking with Sean Berry, the third baseman of the Houston Astros, the next day, he said they kept looking for the cut fastball, and they kept getting the 2-seamer that ran away from him. And and it confused the Astros to a 2-hit shutout where Estes struck out 9, and it was just another stepping stone in his great year, and just really watching him transition from thrower to pitcher. It was fun to watch.
Andy Ashby is the hitter. By the way, Jim Poole is the new pitcher, and Rich Aurilia has come in to play shortstop. 3-1 with a 7.26 earned run average. Jim Poole used a lot in the first part of the year, but used sparingly since the All-Star break. He has struggled coming out of the bullpen.
It has been a disappointment for him this season.
He'll be the first to tell you that, too.
But I applaud the guy because he has really been very constant in that clubhouse. Very supportive of his teammates. You never knew it that he was having a difficult year. I mean, you get to the ballpark, he'd work hard every day trying to correct this problem.
And Ashby with a little looper that Brian Johnson will run out of room. And it's 1-2.
Jim Poole, a good teammate. He's the player rep for the club, and it's also a tough job. But when you're not making contributions that you're used to making, and you desperately want to make a contribution in a pennant run, it can be tough. But he still believes that he's going to find a way to contribute down the road.
1 ball and 2 strikes. And on a breaking ball, Ashby is out swinging.
Well, the San Jose Sharks are back at the tank and ready for action as they host the Edmonton Oilers in their home opener Wednesday at 7:30 on Sports Channel. It's about that time of year, Kai. Hockey teeing it up again.
Sure is. Into baseball season. Right into another. Well, into the regular season. Some of the great headlines in the local papers today is this is smoked into center field. Hamilton got a late jump and he can't get it. It's over his head. Trey Beeman will head into second with a double. A 2-out double.
Beeman's second hit of the day. I don't think Hamilton really felt comfortable with that ball coming off the bat of Beeman. He really froze and broke in on the ball, then had to try and make up for it and just could not get back in time. That ball was smoked.
Yeah, the white short sleeve shirt crowd this afternoon. Sometimes that'll get outfielders and infielders. Here's Chris Gomez, who doubled in the first inning, hit a shot down the third baseline. And he has a half swing and it's 0-1.
Good slider from Jim Poole.
Danny Darwin is starting to loosen up in the bullpen. And Poole to the plate. And it's low and it gets away, and now Johnson tries to make a throw, but Gomez was in the way. There's Danny Darwin. Called him an old goat yesterday doing the post-game show on radio. Didn't care.
He loved it. He is an old goat.
Afterward, he kind of looked at me and he said, well, if I'm an old goat and you're older than me, and I said, yeah, you can stop right there.
Well, what a great impact he's had on this ball club. Just the toughness that he brought into this clubhouse. That really showed up in that one start he had in Florida, where he had an 1.5-hour rain delay. Started off the third inning, pitched beautifully, and then there was a rain delay. And the hardest thing for a starting pitcher to do is to stay loose, get back out there, and tee it up again. A lot of guys won't do it. In fact, Al Leiter, who was the pitcher opposite him that day, starting for the Marlins, he was never seen or heard from again. But Darwin went back out there, pitched beautifully into the game. And that's the type of thing that you want your young pitchers to be exposed to.
Hamilton now will come in and he'll make the catch, and it looks like he's limping. I don't know if he spiked himself. I think he did, or his shoe came off, but he's all right. And Jim Poole gets out of the inning as the Padres strand one. Home half of the third coming up. 0-0.
He ran out of his shoe.
It's the 40th season of Giants baseball, and what an exciting year it has been. And for just $20, you can purchase a 40th anniversary t-shirt, 40th anniversary collector's ball, and 40th anniversary pin. Now to order this special package, call 1-800-GIANT-SF. Remember, we've given you a lot of numbers throughout the course of the year, and this one is a little different than the others. 1-800-GIANT-SF. Be ready for your postseason action next weekend as the Giants take on the Florida Marlins. And wear all of your Giants merchandise. 1-800-GIANTS-SF. We don't have one of those.
No, we have to get one of those.
Well, I know how you can do it.
You got the magic phone number.
1-800-GIANTS. Nothing is Rich Aurelia will come in. And on the first pitch, it's a high towering fly ball to center field. Shading his eyes is Rivera, and he makes the catch. Rich Aurelia hit the first interleague grand slam, and this is what it sounded like.
Oh, he hammered that to deep left, and Aurelia has hit a grand slam home run.
And he hit it off of his old buddy, Alan Watson.
That was a pretty interesting start for Rich Aurelia, because Dusty Baker had a gut feeling that Aurelia, who had faced Watson in high school and owned him, so you're going to face this guy today and take advantage of the history you have on him. And certainly in the first inning he comes up, or this, I mean in the second inning, but he came up early in the game, his first at bat, bases loaded, and popped one out in Anaheim. That was the big blow in that ball game that beat Alan Watson and the Anaheim Angels.
Here's Darrell Hamilton, and he takes the pitch low. 2 balls and 1 strike. Hamilton is 0 for 1. Well, if you look back on Rich Aurelia's season, 28 hits, and of those 28, 8 doubles, 5 home runs. On ball to the right side. Melandia has it, and he throws him out, 2 away. 4-3 on the putout, bringing up Bill Miller. Win the National League West, and all of a sudden, no matter where you sit, it's a good seat.
I think a lot of those tickets are going to be finding their way into frames around the Bay Area. A memento of the game where the Giants clinched their improbable season. A season where nobody but this guy right here, Brian Sabian, and his great crew, Ed Coletti, Dick Tidrow, and the ownership group of the Giants, about the only people thought this team had a chance.
Miller slices one out of play. '97 Western Division champs, San Francisco Giants. Anything just happened. Pitch is high. All right, you saw him, so did I, Brian Sabian. It looked like old Sabes was feeling a little ill. He might have gotten sick last night, maybe had the flu or something. Or was it maybe he just celebrated too much?
Well, we'll speculate. But he and his wife Barbara both very excited, as they should be.
Here's the Sabian booth. There's Brian as he watches Miller take a call third. And that will do it, as Ashby has a 1-2-3 inning. We'll head to the 4th. 0-0.
Giants Baseball on Sports Channel is brought to you by TCI. Now there's a better way. By the California Lottery. Must be 18 or older to play. By Supercuts. Supercuts, it's you. By General Motors, who now offers over 80 value-priced cars and trucks. And by Bud Light. It's a big hit with fans everywhere. Because it won't fill you up and never let you down. So make it a Bud Light.
Mark Lewis comes in. He will play at third base. Dante Powell is in center field. And Danny Darwin is on the mound. So it's Bonds, Howell, and Hill in the outfield with Lewis, Aurelia, Kent, and Snow, with Johnson and now Darwin pitching. Nothing here in the 4th inning. And the pitch to Mark Sweeney is a strike on the outside corner. All right, let's see, Mikey. You got this one?
Wouldn't you snow it? I can't believe it. It's been a berry tail season. Now it's Miller time. Very good.
And that's grounded foul.
I can't believe it. It's been a berry tailed season. Wouldn't you snow it? Now it's Miller time.
All right. Double thumbs up for that one.
Yep, she did good.
Yeah. And this is the best one so far. Looks just like her mom sitting right behind her. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Sweeney, and he fouls it out of play. So Dusty's starting to work in his bench. He did say he wanted Lewis to get a few at bats today. And a check swing by Sweeney. 2 balls and 2 strikes, or is it still 1-2? Scorbitt says 1-2. We'll go with that. On deck is Ruben Rivera, and then it's Derek Lee. 0-0. Popped him up left field for Bonds. He comes in, glasses down, and he makes the catch.
Center fielder, Ruben Rivera.
Well, your super graphics, you can see the bottom part of the strike zone that strike and that slider nipped to get the pop-up off the bat of Mark Sweeney. Sweeney's been a very tough out. I think he's trying to run that slider flat in on him. He did just that to get the out.
Pitch is off the plate to Ruben Rivera. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, Bob Bizio stopping by. You think he's the hardest working guy right now in the organization?
He's the most popular guy in the Bay Area. A couple of Rodman lookalikes got their orange and black hair going. Bob Bizio is in charge of the tickets here at 3Com Park, and he never knew he had so many friends.
I know.
Last couple of weeks.
Tickets still available, Bob? Yes. He says yes for the playoffs. You know, we've said it many times that if you say hi to Bob Bizio, he will. Before he says hi back, he'll say, "Yeah, tickets still available. How you doing?"
Call 1-800-SF-GIANTS.
Swinging a pop up right next to us, and now as it jumps down below. Well, I would want one of those if I was sitting in the stands. As a matter of fact, I think I had one yesterday.
We had 2. You took the Larry Nibby challenge. You were trying to eat a hot dog an inning.
Swinging another pop up above us.
Larry Nibby, one of the investors with the Giants group, is a legend around the ballpark because every time he comes, he has a hot dog an inning. And that's impressive.
It is.
So how many you got into the 4th inning before you had heartburn?
Yeah. Well, I took your advice. I brought a big jar full of Rolaids, and off I went. Another pop up out of play. I will say this though, and I'm sure your wife Jennifer could have told me this. I took Dan in yesterday, my 8-year-old daughter, and if you bring enough money, they will get through 9 innings. The kids will, because anytime a vendor walks by, just buying some food. Another pop up that will head into the seats. Cotton candy, ices, Cokes, you name it. The kids want it. And if you spread it out over 9 innings and you time it just right, they'll sit through it.
Saw a lot of kids yesterday with radio headsets on, listening to the ball game.
Yep.
And some keeping score. And I thought, man, these guys have been taught right.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. And that got home plate umpire Jeff Kellogg. And I don't think Brian Johnson laid a glove on it. And it looks like it may have got him on the forearm.
Okay, but I hope it got him on the forearm. I think it's a little more severe than that.
Really?
Got him right around the protective cup area, and it's going to be a while for him to get his breath. Okay, you're right. It is his wrist. That's a good sign there.
Mark Laton coming out. Looked like Brian Johnson had kind of called for the pitch middle of the plate away, and then came right back in and had a lot of movement on it. Darwin is going to go down and say, hey, listen, I don't like to see that happen.
Well, you get to this point of the season, you're in the last game of the year, and a lot of these umpires aren't going on to the playoffs. And they have the same basic theme that the players have right now. Don't get hurt. Now watch Jeff Kellogg getting in and setting up on the inside location, and Brian Johnson never touches it. It hits Jeff Kellogg square right on the left wrist. And he went down like a sniper got him. You sit back there, you relax, you're concentrating on your strike zone, and the last thing you're thinking about is getting hit. And he's in agony. It may have broken it. Most of these guys are pretty tough customers. They don't leave ball games unless they absolutely have to.
Well, it appears we're going to have a new home plate umpire. And it's going to be Randy Marsh going down to get his gear. So we're going to have a break in the action. And we will step aside very briefly as Randy Marsh goes in to put the home plate umpire's gear on. It's 0-0.
Well, a reminder that National League LCS individual tickets will go on sale beginning 10 o'clock Tuesday at 10 o'clock a.m. September 30th. And you can get your tickets at the 3Com Park Gate B ticket window, all Giants dugout stores, the Bass Phone Center by calling 510-762-BALL, or you can call the Giants website, www.sfgiants.com. The Giants home LCS game will start October 7th, 8th, and 14th and 15th. So for more information, you can call 1-800-SF-GIANTS.
So as we wait for Randy Marsh, we'll check the forecast once again for South Florida. They are expecting snow on Tuesday.
Yes, they are.
And then a day full of bonds on Wednesday. And then Kenton Vizcaino will show up, followed by Hamilton and Beck. So that 5-day forecast looks pretty tough.
And what's the forecast here?
I don't know, but these guys right here are not that excited about this this picture of your partner, I got to tell you.
3 days of Dwayne.
You know what they're doing with that?
What's that?
They're holding their hot dogs with it.
It's Dwayne and Cats and Dogs. And who's that mullion on the left?
Yeah, you know what though I appreciate out of Kira Kong, our great camera woman in center field, is she at least put my pictures upright.
Yeah, Kira, thanks a lot. Well, she's blaming it on Benny.
No, that's because you dogged her boyfriend when he showed up one day. That's what the deal was. And Benny with his eye black. Benny, as we have known over the years, very frustrated athlete.
He's a cameraman wannabe. Eye black everywhere. Got to get in the spirit of things. Put your war paint on. Get out to the ball yard.
Sitting in the stands yesterday, we saw lots of baseball gloves. The old and the young. Check it out.
The very old and the young. Yeah. Sorry, B. See, you run camera, you get goofy. And for Benny, it happened a long time ago.
Yes, it did. He was dropped as a child. In case you just joined us, home plate umpire Jeff Kellogg was struck on the wrist on a fastball from Danny Darwin, and he has left. And Randy Marsh, who is umpiring at second, went down and was headed into the umpire's room to put the umpire's gear on, which is very similar to what a catcher would wear, except they wear it all underneath their clothing. There's Peter McGowan. I don't think I've ever seen a happier Peter McGowan than what we saw yesterday in the clubhouse after the game.
Now, all the ownership group has just been floating around. They are so happy. They say they came close together in their first year of ownership in 1993, just a game away from a playoff situation with the Braves that would have set up a one-game playoff to determine the National League West. They fell short, and they had to wait 4 more years to get back to the stage. And Dusty Baker's Giants in 1997 gave them their first division title as owners, and they have been putting on some serious smiles.
And we've got a highlight for all you folks, a highlight of Julian Tavares, the last time the Giants were in Florida.
Was made.
Swing ground ball to second. Kent, there's one. Double play. Tavares gets out of the inning. And a huge lift for the Giants. Tavares comes in to throw a double play ball on first pitch.
Julian Tavares. I think I've seen more emotion out of Tavares than on that particular play.
Well, of all the interviews we had yesterday, Tavares was my favorite, because he said that when he got traded over to the Giants from the Indians, that all of his friends back in the Dominican Republic were telling him that you're going to the Giants and you're not going to win there. You're going to be in the last place. And he kept shaking his head. No, he said. So last night he said he couldn't wait to get on the phone and call all of his friends back in the Dominican Republic and say, hey, who's in first place now? And when he was telling the story, he was grinning and could just hardly finish because he was laughing so hard. Couldn't wait to get on the phone. And now Randy Marsh is back and ready, and he in gear for home plate. Danny Darwin's back on the mound. He'll have a few throws to get loose, and we'll be underway shortly. I would imagine, Kite, that Jeff Kellogg's on his way to the hospital to get x-rayed.
You bet he is. Bonds taking it easy. There's one out in a 3-2 count on Ruben Rivera. It's 0-0 in the top of the 4th inning. This has been about a 10-minute delay so far.
Well, Randy Marsh had to go in. You've got 2 different sets of clothes. One you wear for the bases, and the one that you wear behind the home plate as an umpire. Obviously, you need a bigger size to hold all of your gear. So he had to go back in and completely change his clothes, not to mention strap on all the gear that he's going to have behind home plate.
You know what's great about being the crew chief?
No.
Well, Harry Wendelstedt in the normal rotation is umpiring at first. He would normally now be the umpire if you go by rotation. But if you're the crew chief, like Harry is, you tell someone else to get behind the plate, and it's Randy Marsh.
A veteran move.
Way to go, Harry.
Well, he's earned that right.
Yes, he has. So it's 3 balls and 2 strikes to Ruben Rivera.
Harry Wendelstedt, this is his 32nd year. He's the senior umpire in the National League, so hey, if he wants to pull somebody out of the bleacher seats to go in an umpire, he can do it.
And a ground ball that is going to be backhanded by Arulia, and a strong throw won't be in time. A 1-hopper to Snow, and it'll be a base hit for Rivera. A 9-minute delay.
That delay will not be counted on and added to the official time of this ball game today, for those of you who are concerned about such statistics at home.
Here's Derek Lee, who singled in the 2nd. 0-0. Darwin, the 3rd pitcher to throw for the Giants. Rapp started. Jim Poole for an inning, and now Darwin. And that throw a little harder from Darwin. Rivera, a big guy, but he runs well. And the pitch, it's outside to Derek Lee. 1 ball and no strikes. Lewis deep at third. Aurelia and Kent at double play depth with 1 out. Into right center is Dante Powell, and the runner goes, and the pitch is outside to throw down to second is a little low, and it scoots by Kent, and it'll be a stolen base for Rivera, his 2nd of the year. Well, during the celebration in the clubhouse, this was Barry Bonds as he pours champagne over general manager Brian Savian. Peter McGowan to your left, and I got to tell you, that was a happy group. 2-0 to Derek Lee. Runner goes, swinging a foul back, and Darwin kind of upset with himself because he kind of forgot about Rivera at second base.
Now, even an old vet like Danny Darwin still has to vary the number of times that he looks at second base to hold that runner on, and he got a little too predictable, giving Rivera just a 1 look, and when he turned his head to come home, Rivera was off. He had an outstanding jump. If Lee doesn't foul that ball back, it would have been very hard for Johnson to throw him out.
Now Ken is going to hold Rivera a little closer, and a swing and a miss, and it's 2-2 to Lee.
Darwin put on about 3 turns of the neck just to keep Rivera in a sedentary position. It's really all you have to do. You just don't want to let a guy at second base walk into a lead. That's how they steal third base easily. It's a good camera shot here, guys. Watch the number of head turns that Darwin will give Rivera to make sure that he is stopped. That's all you can really do. Looks once, looks again. Darwin knows all the tricks. One thing he does not want to have happen is he doesn't want Rivera to steal that base and set up a 1-out runner third situation.
Strike 3 call. Randy Morris rang him up. You bet. Bonds, after the last out, knelt down, said a prayer, grabbed his cap, and then a great shot.
It's just great to see 25 different definitions of celebration as you look out the Giants members, team members all throughout the field, how they went about celebrating.
Here's Arias, and he lofts one to left field. Bonds is going back. He's near the track, and he makes the catch. So that'll do it. No runs a hit. The Padres strand 1. Giants coming up in the bottom of the 4th. 0-0. We are in the bottom of the 4th inning, and it's 0-0. And let's check out a highlight of Barry Bonds from earlier in the season. Bonds hits one hard. He hits it deep, and we are going home.
Oh, yeah.
From May 26th to September 28th, Barry Bonds has given all of us a lot of thrills this year.
I remember that game. It was a duel between Shane Reynolds and Kirk Reeder, and the score was tied 3-3 in the bottom of the 9th inning, and Bonds led off the inning against Jose Lima and very quickly put that game in the win column, and at that time it made the Giants 28-20.
And here Bonds steps in. He singled in the first inning, hitting .292. So Bonds steps in 1 for 1. 3 for 6 in this series. And Bonds lofts one to left field. Moving over is Trey Beeman, and he will make the catch near the track. 1 out. Well, the board telling us that Natasha Baker, Dusty Baker's daughter, is celebrating a birthday, number 18. Remember when Natasha would jump on those planes when we were playing? And she was just a little one in those days.
18 years old. Wow. Well, happy birthday, Tosh.
Really. Here's Jeff Kent, who struck out to end the first inning.
Tasha Baker got quite a birthday present yesterday from the old man.
Yes, she did. Here's Ashby to the plate, and a breaking ball in for a strike. There's one that Dad is outfitted with a hat and some shades.
She's snuggling up to the old man too.
Which is outside to Jeff Kent. Kent this year, 121 RBI. And that pitch is a little low, and the latest of his big hits Friday night, it's a 3-run home run in the first inning off of Pete Smith, after the Padres had scored a run in the top of the first inning, and this is chopped foul. No, the hat is still on, Mike.
that is a tired lid right there, but he's proud of it. That's got some miles on it.
And stories, you know.
It's like an old glove. Another definition. Beach wear to the ballpark.
2-2 pitch. Kent strikes out. 2 down here in the 4th inning. 5th strikeout for Andy Ashby. Hats all over the ballpark this afternoon.
How about that? A blow-up broom. Now that is something I've never seen. Somebody's thinking. You can't sneak brooms into a lot of ballparks, so you know what you do? You bring one in and you blow it up.
And then you let the air out when you leave.
That's right. And you can be cool and say sweep and everything else. I've never seen that.
I wish that would have been my idea.
Somebody's thinking.
Yes, they are. JT Snow grounded out in the 2nd. There's an old worn out fishing lid if I've ever seen one.
Yep. Were you celebrating last night?
Ball games are tough, and Snow fouls it out of play. There's a very colorful hat. A 49er hat. Behind it, I heart it when it snows.
No, I love it when it snows.
Snow holding up 1 ball and 2 strikes. Glen Allen Hill waiting on deck.
It's an unusual get-ready position. I wonder if he's thinking about hitting like that.
Don't give him any idea. Ooh, good pitch. And Snow knew it, and that'll end the inning. We'll go to the 4th here at 3Com, no score.
You're watching Sports Channel.
Time now for our Aflac trivia question. Tony Gwynn has won 6 of the last 10 National League batting titles. Name the players who won the other 4. Good question.
Here's Tony Gwynn taking this one in from the Pine. Here's Manny Romero, who takes a pitch up high, 1-0 from Danny Darwin. Gwynn did not play yesterday. And this is hit into center field. Dante Powell slips, and he makes the catch anyway. Well, if you're going to get the crowd into it, you might as well do something your own self to do it.
Well, that is, it's not easy to play center field, but when you do it with rollerblades on, it's even more impressive. And that's exactly what Dante Powell looks like. Watch the flight going after he plants and goes down, and he stays with the play, battles the sun, and that was a wrestling match. Never lost focus on the ball.
He's done that before, I think.
That's great concentration.
All right, here's Jorge Velandia, and a swinging a ground ball right to third, where Lewis has it, and he makes the play to Brian Johnson, who's now playing first, 2 down. So Brian Johnson in at first base. Delgado replaces Jeff Kent at second, and Marvin Bernard has gone into left field to replace Barry Bonds. Damon Berryhill doing the catching. Andy Ashby at the plate, and Darwin's pitch is a strike. Ashby struck out, facing Jim Poole in the 3rd inning. 0-0. And a strike, and it's 0-2.
Double D looks very sharp today. And this is a role that he might see in the playoffs.
And he struck him out. Side retired, a 1-2-3 inning for Danny Darwin. Giants will bat in the bottom of the 5th, and it will be Glenn Allen Hill who will lead it off.
Everything's A-OK, California. Proceed as planned.
The factory is taking action, so get to your Ford dealer's factory authorized clearance.
Let's move these 97s.
Roger, this is the final offer.
Up to $1,500 cash back on Taurus and Thunderbird. Plus special factory incentives could save you even more.
Looking good.
Get $1,000 back on Contour or Probe or Aerostar or Ranger. $1,500 back on Windstar.
Okay, wrap it up.
Hurry, this offer ends 9 p.m. October 1st.
Mission accomplished.
See your California Ford dealer.
California! Action heroes!
Watch Eric the Finisher Winalda in the San Jose Clash all season long. Major League Soccer. The stuff kicks.
Motel 6 is renovating all across America. You'll find free local calls, morning coffee, so much new stuff we had to speed things up just to fit it all in. I'm Tom Bodette for the new Motel 6, and
we'll leave the light on for you.
Our Aflac trivia question. Tony Gwynn has won 6 of the last 10 National League batting titles. Name the players who won the other 4. Our answer is Will McGee in 1990, Terry Pendleton in 1991, Gary Sheffield in 1992, and Andres Galarraga in 1993. Only 2 right-handed hitters in the last 10 years to be batting title champions.
Yeah, when Tony Gwynn doesn't win it, it's a scoop, and we have found a handsome kid, and he is in foul territory, we think.
It's okay to be in a good mood in foul territory. You don't want to be in a foul mood in good territory. This guy's working over a snow cone.
Well, it's 0-0 as Glenn Allen Hill strolls to home plate. I believe that's in our family section.
Look at the size of that cat in the next row behind her.
That is a big cat. That's Andres Galarraga. It's the big cat. Here's Glenn Allen Hill, who struck out swinging in the 2nd. Andy Ashby has 6 strikeouts. If there was ever a day where you're going to pile up strikeouts, it would be a day like this one.
Well, it's easy to understand where concentration could be elsewhere. But
and that's to right field. A little looper that's going to fall in front of Sweeney. But you don't want to give away at bats, is what you're trying to say.
Never.
Terry Mulholland getting loose as Jose Vizcaíno came out of the ball game, and in his spot it's Mark Lewis. Lewis, very important part of the clinching win yesterday. Lewis a couple of hits. He scored a run, scored 2 runs, 2 for 3, and look out, it's kind of buckled trying to get out of the way of that inside pitch. 1 ball and no strikes. The numbers for Lewis this year, of those 10 home runs, a couple of very big. For 1 home run in LA where he tied the game in the 9th inning off of Todd Worrell as Hill goes, and the pitch is inside, and the throw to second is late. Here's the home run that we were talking about on July 12th.
2-1 LA, 9th inning. There's a high drive deep into left center field. Back to Cedeno to the wall. It's Turner!
Oh my!
Mark Lewis will not be denied on this night.
And here's Lewis with a count of 2 balls and no strikes with nobody out and Hill at second base. Wilkins followed that at bat, Rick Wilkins, and hit a home run, and the Giants went on to score 6 or 7 runs that inning. And Lewis got hit, and he's not happy, and I don't blame him.
Second time in the at bat that Ashby came way inside to Lewis. So I would have to say if there's a slow ground ball hitting the infield and there's going to be a play at second base, I would not want to be a middle infielder right now with Lewis feeling the way he is.
Plus Derek Lee, the first baseman, will not be holding Lewis close, so he'll get a big lead. And middle infielders should know that. Here's Brian Johnson. Brian Johnson grounded out to third in the second. And the pitch, and he squares around the bunt, and he bunts it foul. Note on the board says that McGuire has hit another home run today. He's at 58.
58th home run for Mark McGuire.
Boy, has he put on a big salary drive or what?
Yeah, he certainly has.
0-1 to Brian Johnson with Rich Aurelia on deck. Gomez holding Hill close, and Johnson lays down a bunt, and it is a good one. Romero has it, and he throws to the second baseman Volandia for the sacrifice, and it goes 2-4. Well, he hits home runs in late innings, and he lays down perfect sacrifice bunts.
Get the bat out front, watch contact made, get it up the third base side. Cannot execute any better than that. The only play that Romero has is to get the out at first. Sacrifice effective and a productive out.
Here's Rich Aurelia batting for the second time. He hit a fly ball to center field in the third inning. If he does that right now, the Giants will be leading 1-0.
Okay, if you talk about McGuire put on a salary drive, that is the 15th home run that he has hit in the month of September.
Infield is playing in, and Aurelia takes it low. Mark McGuire got off to a slow start, if you can believe it, when he got over to the National League. And then he has unloaded. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and that is a strike to Aurelia to even the count. And McGuire hit 1 home run as an Oakland A against the Giants to right field. Hit it off of, I want to say, Mark Gardner. And then hit one off of Sean Estes down the left field line as a member of the Cardinals.
When he hit off Estes was his 50th.
Aurelia takes a close pitch, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Dante Powell is on deck. 2nd and 3rd with 1 out. We're in the 5th inning. Andy Ashby has not walked a hitter. He's hit a batter. He hit Lewis here in the 5th. And now a spin to second to chase Lewis back. Giants with 90 wins and 71 losses. A win today would put them 20 over the 500 mark. They have won 8 of their last 10. 2-1 pitch. Aurelia hits a slow roller to 3rd. Holding is Arias as his throw to first is in time, and scoring is Hill.
No doubt that with 1 out, Glenn Allen Hill was going on first contact. A good heads-up play from his standpoint as a base runner at 3rd base. And you watch the angle here. You're going on contact. It's a good play with 1 out, not a good play with no outs. But here, no hesitation whatsoever from Hill. And the only play that George Arias, the 3rd baseman, has is to get Aurelia at first base. So a job well done from both Aurelia and Hill to get the first run on the board for the Giants.
Yeah, plus if they throw Hill out, they still have a guy in scoring position in Lewis. So here's Powell batting for the first time. Powell, a right-handed hitter, in the pitch, and he hits one to left field. He doesn't hit it well. Coming in is Beeman, and he'll get there to make the catch. So Powell swings at the first pitch and pops to left field. The Giants do pick up a run on a Rich Aurelia ground ball. 6th inning is coming up. 1-0 Giants. It's 1-0 Giants here in the 6th inning. Stan Javier gets into the game. He'll play right field, replacing Glenn Allen Hill, and the new pitcher for the Giants is left-hander Terry Mulholland. So Mulholland will toe the rubber with the Giants on top. It'll be the top of the batting order for San Diego: Beeman, Gomez, and Sweeney. 4th pitcher for Dusty Baker. And none have allowed a run, and Beeman takes a strike. He's 2 for 2, a single and a double. Rapp went 2 innings, Poole went 1, Darwin went 2. Swing and a miss, 0-2 to Trey Beeman. Terry Mulholland, if you look at just strictly statistics, if you're going to judge him, it's unfairly to do it just by that. He, with the Giants, is 0-1 with a 5.53 earned run average. But if you remember that start against the Dodgers, where he kept the Giants in the ball game, ended up with a no decision, but a very good performance. And that pitch misses, the full count. Mulholland in that game against Candiati went 6 innings, allowed 1 earned run, and he struck out 6.
Plus, he brings another thing to the club that is really going to be looked to here in the next week, and that's his experience in the playoffs. 13 of the Giants have had playoff experience. 4 of the Giants have had World Series experience. And when you get guys like Jim Poole and Julian Tavares and Terry Mulholland, been there before, they know how to handle the adrenaline that they're going to get. It does a lot for calming the other guys down.
Jeff Kent, a big moment against the Florida Marlins. Check it out. And here comes the 1-2 pitch to Jeff Kent. Swing a line drive, base hit. Here comes Vizcaíno, and we are going home. In the rain, Jeff Kent. Here's Gomez, and he takes a strike. Saw the scoreboard in the background when the Giants were celebrating. They had won 7 in a row following that hit by Kent. Started out hot, the Giants did. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and Gomez takes a strike. It's 1-2.
Well, out of the 180-day season, they were in first place and have been in first place 136 of those days. Kind of got used to that position. Didn't want to give it up.
Two balls, 2 strikes to Gomez, who doubled in the first, hit a fly ball to center field in the third. On the ground to Lewis. He backs up on the ball and has time and throws him out.
Well, the division series at 3Com Park begins next Friday against the Florida Marlins and continues with possible games on Saturday and Sunday. The series is best 3 out of 5, and tickets are still available for each of the games. And you can get those tickets at 3Com Park, Gate B ticket window, all Giants dugout stores, and Bass ticket outlets, or you can call the Bass Phone Center at 510-762-BALL.
Here's Mark Swinney, who's grounded out and popped out. He's 0 for 2. Left-handed hitter facing Mulholland, and that pitch hits the outside corner, says Randy Martin.
Mulholland has a nice rhythm going. Everybody who's come out of the Giants pen today has had a nice rhythm going. Some outstanding pitching going on.
Curveball that is low. The 1-1 pitch, and that misses to make it 2-1. On deck for the Padres is Ruben Rivera. Hit on the ground, foul past Tim Flannery. Our ball dudette decided that that one was going to have to roll by her. And it's much easier to pick up something that has stopped rolling than it is to try to grab something that's actually moving.
Corinne's tough. She went over to the Padre pitcher and said, "Give me the ball now." She got no fight.
Corinne said, "Listen, I've got grandkids that are tougher than you guys. Cough up the ball." On the opposite end, one of our distinguished ball dudes fouled out of play. We've had fun with them again this year.
Been great. Great program the Giants have here at 3Com Park. Bring our veterans in.
Hit on the ground. Wilson Delgado has got it, and he'll throw him out. And Mulholland comes up with a 1-2-3 inning. Giants will bat in the 6th. They lead 1-0. Giants scored a run in the 5th, and here in the 6th they lead 1-0. Well, Stan Javier has the honor of owning the first interleague home run, and it happened in Texas.
Worst in the league. Now they're last.
Into right center field. Newson going back, still going back, still going back, and it is gone. A home run for Javier. Wow.
And Stan Javier will lead it off here in the 6th inning. Javier hitting that ball right-handed and into right center field. For Stan, 8 home runs, 50 RBIs. What a contribution Javier has made this year. And the first pitch is high. It was pretty exciting because it was the first interleague game. Giants were starting earlier than in any of the other games, and Javier just happened to hit it. Just good timing on his part, and that's a strike. It was also right around the time JT Snow got going, especially in the home run and RBI department. And JT never stopped. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Javier. And that's off the plate, 2-1.
Well, what I remember about Javier is that he was talking about starting to hit some home runs. You know, I'm going to start getting down the end of the bat. I'm going to start swinging for some home runs. I can do that. We kind of went, yeah, sure you can. And he pumped out about 7 in about 2 weeks.
Here's the 2-1. And he hits it foul.
Javier spent a lot of time coming off the bench early in the season, was not getting playing time. And he said it was very difficult for him. It's not a style of platooning that really gives him a chance to get his stroke down, especially difficult for a switch hitter. Darrell Hamilton had an injury and he got some consecutive days of playing time, and he really started coming on offensively.
And Javier goes down swinging. Now JT Snow, as we mentioned, got hot. Here's a home run against his former team, the Angels.
Continue today.
There goes Javier. Oh, and Snow hit it to right. Salmon back. And it is gone. Snow hits a home run. The Giants lead 2-0.
Here's Marvin Bernard, and JT Snow, one of his 28 home runs this year. He had I think 3 or 4 against the Angels. Here's Bernard as he goes around on a breaking ball. It's 0-1. Good year for JT. 104 RBIs. Enjoyed the last couple of days. His dad was in town, Jack Snow. He had a chance to play with a team that just clinched the West and have his father watch him do it. Strike to Bernard.
And he was in the clubhouse yesterday during the celebration and got a little wet. It had to be a great thrill to be experiencing it with your son in a different sport. Jack Snow, an all-pro receiver with the Rams, now a color analyst with the St. Louis Rams. Made a special trip to come in here to watch his kid play baseball. What did he see? He saw JT and his teammates clinch the division title. That's pretty slick, I think.
It is. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Marvin Bernard, and he goes down swinging. 8 strikeouts for Andy Ashby. And that'll bring to the plate Wilson Delgado. Wilson Delgado. Been up 4 times. He's 0 for 4. Well, the Giants have a decision to make, as will all the major league teams, because they have to protect 15 players for the expansion draft. As Delgado hits one to center field, coming in is Rivera, and he will make the catch. Giants will have 2 very young shortstops that they're going to have to think if they're going to protect, Delgado and Aurelia. Well, we've finished 6 innings here at 3Com. Giants on top, 1-0.
Giants Baseball on Sports Channel is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. With fares so low, you have the freedom to go places and do things you never thought possible. By the Discovery Channel, explore your world. And by Bud Light, it's a big hit with fans everywhere, because it won't fill you up and never lets you down. So make it a Bud Light.
Here we go. MVPs. Mike Krukow, Dwayne Kuiper. The vote was split.
1-1.
There it is. Hey, it's Giants baseball and anything can happen. Now Terry Mulholland goes out for his 2nd inning. Rich Herrera has just proposed on top of the Giants dugout. And the pitch is a breaking ball in for a strike. And I'm assuming that that the proposal was a positive.
It was a big 2 thumbs up.
And this is popped down the right field line. Brian Johnson will head over to the field boxes and watch it take the big bounce. But you know, this is always tricky. You could get a no in front of a lot of people. You got to be pretty sure of yourself.
That'd be my luck.
Look at that. I don't know if she's crying because she said yes. Maybe, huh?
Look at, she's shaking. Nice going, Rich.
There you go, Richie. And a shot into center field, a base hit. For the Padres, they pick up their 6th hit, and it's a leadoff single, the second for Rivera. Here's Derek Lee. Yeah, you got to know going in that there's a good chance that you're going to get a yes.
I think if I was a girl, I'd say no, but can I keep the ring?
Here's the pitch, and this is popped to right field. Javier shading his eyes, and he makes the catch. I think at that point your negotiating power is at its highest, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
I mean, you can drop a no, but can we negotiate?
Oh my God.
I love you.
Let's go with Rich Herrera.
George Arias. Ooh, check it out. Looking good.
Oh my God.
Here's Arias, who's 0 for 2, hit into a double play in the 2nd inning. On deck, Manny Romero, 1-0 Giants. This is the 7th as Mulholland. The snap throw to Brian Johnson. Julian Tavares is playing catch down the right field line. And another throw, and it's getting a little closer. There's Tavares. John Johnstone.
Tavares got a catcher's glove going. Maybe he's thinking about changing positions. What do you think?
Here's the pitch. And a pop-up. Wilson Delgado, Stan Javier, and it's Javier who will make the catch.
Javier with his trademark. We found out what Javier meant in English. It means one-handed catch.
Julian Javier might have something to say about that. Stan's dad, who was an outstanding second baseman for many years with the Cardinals, as everyone probably is well aware of. And here's Manny Romero. And a ground ball foul. Ball Dudette, no chance.
Her mind said go get it, but her body said I don't think so.
There's Corinne Mullane. Manny Moyano is down the right field line. A strike, and it's 0-2. John Johnstone is the pitcher throwing out of the bullpen. Pitching off of first is Rivera, and Javier might have another chance. He goes back. He's at the wall, and he makes the catch. Javier going away, puts it away, and that'll retire the side. And that catch keeps this game right where it's at, 1-0. Check out Javier. He's done it all year. 1-0 Giants.
Well, it's about time you join the club. That's club seating at Pac Bell Park. It's truly an investment in relationships. And located on your very own exclusive concourse, club seats put you in an environment of luxury and prestige that would equate to the arts. That's right. They wrote it, I said it, and you have to believe it. But you can't imagine the impeccable service, the gourmet food, the concierge to greet you, the business center, and now imagine all that in great Giants baseball too. To guarantee your permanent location on this exclusive club level in Pac Bell Park, call 1-800-5-GIANTS. Call now and reserve one of these premium seating locations. The number again is 1-800-5-GIANTS. Call now.
I hear you talk like that all the time.
This guy, he's pumped up.
Giants hat on, he's psyched.
See what happens when you go to the playoffs? People get married and they get engaged, and it's unbelievable the things that happen. They make signs, they wear weird hats, take off their shirts.
And it's a 1-0 game. And Damon Berryhill will stand in. Berryhill batting for the first time. Swings at the first pitch and pops it out of play. Berryhill likes to go after that first pitch, hitting .262, 3 home runs, 23 RBIs. Berryhill made this club coming out of spring training. Did not play last year. Got a good year under his belt where he played with the Atlanta Braves. One ball and 1 strike. Swing and a miss, 1 and 2. See that Dodger score? That's right. We don't care.
We don't care. Haven't looked all day, and I don't care. But you know, it was Graz nothing about the Julian Tavares interview yesterday. He said, you know what? I'm glad that the Dodgers beat the Rockies because it would have taken away for the dance they had yesterday.
That's grounded foul.
And I think he echoed a lot of sentiment from his teammates. The Giants went into this series knowing that if they won 2 games of the Padres, they would be division title champions. And that's exactly what they focused on. They didn't care what was happening in Denver.
Thumbs up.
Dusty changed his glasses. Had a couple of wins under his new shades, and he took them off today and went back to the old ones. He's saving those victories for his glasses when he gets into the playoffs.
Low to Berryhill, 2 balls and 2 strikes as John Johnstone continues to throw. 1-0 Giants.
It's just been remarkable as to not just the players who have a lot of superstitions this time of year, but all of the Bay Area fans who have worn a shirt on a day that the Giants win, continue to wear that shirt or a pair of shoes. Or I know one family in Salinas was telling me that they had macaroni and cheese the night that the Giants got into first place, and they stayed there and ate macaroni and cheese every day that the Giants were in first place. Now that's a lot of macaroni and cheese.
Yes, it is.
I think after the season they'll never eat it again.
Berryhill goes the opposite way, and that will be foul.
But everybody gets around a team that's making a stretch drive, and they start to do goofy things like that because you want it so bad. When the Giants won it yesterday, when they clinched, the whole Bay Area went off.
Especially me, because you finally changed your socks. Here's the 3-2 pitch, hit foul. Carlos Alfonso will make somebody happy. There's John Johnstone. Yesterday, 48,179. That was the paid attendance. Berryhill swings at another pitch and hits it in the seats. Berryhill sending souvenirs all over this ballpark in this at bat. Great sight when this ballpark is filled up. Three balls, 2 strikes. And Ashby winds and throws, and Berryhill swings at a bad pitch. It's blocked by Romero, and he is thrown out at first, and you know Berryhill is going to be unhappy with that.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the San Francisco Giants and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form without the express written consent of the San Francisco Giants.
Batting for Terry Mulholland is Jacob Cruz. Jacob Cruz has seen limited duty. He's 3 for 22. Couple of RBIs. Had a good year in AAA. And the first pitch is down low. 1 ball and no strikes to Jacob Cruz. 1-0 Giants. This is the 7th. Cruz with a open stance deep in the batter's box takes a strike.
Ashby's used that backdoor sinker very effectively against the Giants' left-handed hitters today. Like a lot of movement. Starts that ball off the plate inside, and then it just snaps back and nips that corner. Setting up for it again.
And Cruz tries to hold up, and he can't, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
They set up inside, but they didn't throw the backdoor sinker. They went with a little slider, a little cutter. Good pitch.
And the 1-2 offering to Jacob Cruz, and he hits it into left center field. This could be trouble. Rivera's going to go after it, and he can't get it, and it bounces over for a ground rule double. Well, that's what we have heard about Jacob Cruz. He loves to hit the ball in the gaps.
Well, he's sitting on a 1-2 count, trying to think short. He inside out's a little breaking ball that Ashby hung out over the plate. And as Jeff Kent would say, he fillets this ball, catches the backspin on this ball, and rides it away as it's sliced away from Ruben Rivera, the Padres center fielder, and finds that gap, and it's an easy double. He could have had more. Padres catch a break here as this ball hops out of the ballpark on the 1-hop. And you can see the location of that breaking ball right out over the plate and up in the hot zone.
Here's Mark Lewis batting for the 2nd time, and the pitch is away, blocked by Romero. Lewis, beg your pardon, Lewis is batting, yeah, for the 2nd time. He was hit by a pitch from Ashby in the 4th inning.
I'd have to believe that this at bat here has got a little something extra on it. After Ashby drilled him in his last AB, he was not happy walking down the first base line.
Brian Johnson on deck. 1-0 Giants with Cruz at second base with 1 out. Swinging a grounder foul as Lewis way out in front. Here's Corinne. Here we go, Corinne. Good job.
That's it. Just wait till it stops rolling and pick it up. Ground balls are easy.
It says this little guy is going to get it in. All right. You got to be careful. They'll fire that thing right back out on the field. Low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike.
John Johnstone getting ready down in the Giants bullpen. 2 great innings from Terry Mulholland.
Ashby trying to pick up win number 10. He's 9-11. Double look to second and the pitch, and Lewis again hits it foul.
Uh-oh.
Now, see, that is something that you shouldn't do.
It's an extreme rules violation there. The only way you get away with it is if you're 8 years old. 8 or 88. 2 exceptions. Anything else in between, they frown upon that.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Lewis pops it up. Second baseman Volandia puts it away, and it'll leave it up to Brian Johnson. One of the bigger moments of the year came from this guy, Brian Johnson. Brian Johnson 2 for 4 with a walk, and he hits one high to the left field and deep. Hollingsworth is back at the wall. It is out of here, and this one is over. And the National League West is tied. Great 2 games against the Dodgers, and that was the second game of that 2-game series. It went extra innings. Brian Johnson hit one that just shot right through the wind. 2 balls have been held up prior to that. One off the bat of Kent, the other one off of the bat of Eric Karros that looked like they were home runs, but the wind held them up. That one, a line drive that made it out, and this place erupted. There's the pitch, and Johnson a shot to left field, a base hit. Cruz is going to be sent. We may have a play. Here's the throw from Beeman, and it is way over the head. A run scores. Down to second goes Johnson, and it's 2-0. Brian Johnson with an RBI single. And forget about hitting the cutoff man. Trey Beeman didn't hit anyone.
A little fastball that just sort of hangs out over the plate. Johnson all over it, finds the hole and left. And Trey Beeman coming in, trying to gamble to shoot that run down. Here comes the rainbow. He overshoots everybody, including the runway. Watch Jacob Cruz getting the go sign from Sonny Jackson. Safe easily.
Here's Rich Aurelia. Of course, on the throw, Brian Johnson went down to second base. And Aurelia with a half swing, and it's 0-1. Yeah, you're right. Beeman took a chance. The problem is if you don't throw out the runner, and most times you don't, and if you miss the cutoff man, now you've got another runner in scoring position, and that's where Johnson is. Aurelia bounces it foul. Two 2-0 Giants. 6 hits for the Padres, 5 for San Francisco. Mario Vera starting to throw in the bullpen. Rich Aurelia. He's flied out and he's grounded out. He had an RBI on the ground out in the 5th. Takes the fastball high. 1-2. Dante Powell waits on deck. Ashby looks to second and throws the 1-2 pitch, and it's low. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Giants, as we mentioned earlier, have won 3 straight. The second game of that series in Colorado behind Pat Rapp. Swing and a miss, and Aurelia strikes out to end the inning. And 10 strikeouts now for Andy Ashby, with the Giants pick up a run on 2 hits. It's the 8th inning, and it's 2-0.
You're watching Sports Channel.
Giants with single runs in the 5th and 7th, and it's 2-0. Jacob Cruz goes into right field. Barry Hill goes from behind the plate. He is now at first base. Johnson out of the game. And Doug Mirabelli is going to do the catching with John Johnstone out on the mound. Rapp, Poole, Darwin, Mulholland, and now Johnstone. So it looks like Steve Finley is going to be the pinch hitter. Finley will be facing Johnstone. And the first pitch is a swing and a miss, and Finley is trying to hit one out.
I'm a little surprised he didn't start the game today. He has 28 home runs. Finley, who hit 30 home runs last season. First time he had done that in his career. The highest he'd ever had prior to last season was 11.
And he swings a little late and fouls this in and out of the glove of Mirabelli, and it's 0-2.
2 times in Finley's career he has had 3 home runs in 1 game.
I think we saw one, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Johnson throwing out of the stretch. Throws, and Finley hits a little looper to left field. Marvin Bernard coming over, and that will fall foul right over the bullpen mound. These kids having fun at the ballpark.
Where's your teeth?
Well, stay back there with Derek, Louie. Come on, don't mess with the guy.
A little curvature in the bill of that cap, will you?
He's got a sweatband hanging out, no teeth, no fold in the hat, and he doesn't care. It's a big league hardball game.
Finley again fouls it into the upper deck. Julian Tavares is now throwing in the bullpen. Finley and then Joyner, who's on deck.
It's not an official game unless Tavares gets up in that bullpen.
This is hit foul as Rich Rodriguez. Here's our ball dude without his glove. That should be a fine.
He's going out there commando. Nice going, Manny. He's got his pant leg blew out. I mean, he's had a rough day.
Finley a little looper. Powell broke back, and he'll now have to play it on a hop. You can't do that. You just can't.
We saw it earlier in the game with Hamilton breaking back on a ball and then having to recoup and try and come in a ball, and now it's happening to Dante Powell, so it's very difficult for the center fielders to pick up the ball off the bat.
So here's Joyner.
He breaks back and then he tries to come back in, and not even the great speed of Dante Powell can make up for it. So a leadoff single for Steve Finley.
So it's Joyner hitting .326 with 13 home runs, 82 RBI. And that's way outside 1-0. Mulholland went 2 innings. Rapp for 2, Poole for 1, Darwin with 2, and then Mulholland with 2. That's outside to make it 2-0. Lewis, Aurelia, Delgado, and Berryhill is your infield from third to first. Bernard, Powell, and Cruz in the outfield. Mirabelli doing the catching. And that's stroked into left center field, and Bernard won't be able to get it. It'll at least be a double. Let's see what Finley does. They are going to wave him in. And Aurelia's throw, no, he will not throw, and it's 2-1.
Well, a little bit of a bobble out by the left center field wall from Dante Powell. Tim Flannery, the third base coach of the Padres, picked up on it and very quickly waved Finley in.
So a double for Joyner.
There's the Flan man. Tim Flannery, when he retired from the San Diego Padres as a player, they had one of the great all-time nights for a player. They called it Flan Appreciation Night. And they honored the hustle of Tim Flannery, scrappy little infielder.
Trey Beeman 2 for 3, struck out in the 6th, and he hits a chopper over the mound for Delgado. Makes a nice play to throw on the first, and Beeman gets the job done. The tying run now at third for Chris Gomez.
That was a nice play from Wilson Delgado, going to his backhand, had a ball come up on him. Hands are not as soft to your backhand side as they are to your forehand side, and this is what the difficulty in that play is, to stay with the hop with the backhand. Squares himself up, shoots down the out.
Well, John Johnstone, as you see Delgado, trying to figure out how he got Finley, Joyner, Beeman, and Caminiti. Said, wait a minute, and going to the bullpen is Dusty Baker, and he's going to call in Julian Tavares. Johnstone will depart, and Tavares, who we have seen a lot this year, he will come in for his 89th appearance. 2-1, Giants are leading. Well, it's the Giants 2 and the Padres 1 here in the top of the 8th inning. And in Montreal earlier in the year, it was Bill Miller who made a terrific play to keep the Giants in the ball game. And Miller, if this ball gets by him, the Giants go to the 9th inning trailing by 2 runs. But it was that play that kept the game tied, and the Giants went on to win. The defensive play by Bill Miller. And here's Tavares. During that replay showing you the play by Bill Miller, they made an announcement here that Jeff Kellogg did indeed fracture his left arm. Or they may have said wrist, I'm not quite sure, but there is a fracture. And Kellogg was hit by a pitch thrown by Danny Darwin in the 4th inning. So it'll be a while before Jeff Kellogg will take out the golf clubs.
And that's one of his hobbies. Weight training and golf. And his golf season is going to be put on hold. That's too bad.
Yes, it is. Well, the Giants and Tavares facing Ken Caminiti. And the Giants will play the infield in with the tying run, Joyner at 3rd with 1 out. William Tavares. Throws, and a swing and a foul off into the bat and into the seats along the left side. Sweeney, Mark Sweeney is on deck. Caminiti, of course, played in the first 2 games in this series. 1 for 3 on Friday night, 0 for 4 yesterday. 290, 89 RBIs for Caminiti. Here's the pitch, and it's away. 1 ball and 1 strike. Bullpen is quiet for the Giants. Caminiti waiting. And that misses. It's 2 balls and 1 strike.
Off-speed pitch just missing on the outside corner to Caminiti.
Here's the 2-1 pitch. Swinging a fly ball to center field. This will tie the game as Powell backpedals, shades his eyes, and makes the catch. And a sacrifice fly for Ken Caminiti. And it's a 2-2 tie. And with 2 outs, that'll bring up Mark Sweeney. Sweeney is 0 for 3. The Padres scored twice here in the 8th inning. And here's Sweeney, the left-handed hitter. And the pitch, and it's low. A couple of pitchers up in the bullpen for San Diego. Dario Veros is 1. And Trevor Hoffman another. And Sweeney hits one right by Delgado into center field. The 3rd hit here in the 8th inning. And Ruben Rivera will step up.
Pretty impressive. Mark Sweeney has come over and found himself a home and has fulfilled the job of pinch hitter nicely for the Padres. Sweeney came over from the St. Louis Cardinals in a trade that involved Fernando Valenzuela and Danny Jackson. Jackson coming to the Padres, Valenzuela going to the Cardinals. But Sweeney coming over, doing a great job for Bruce Bochy off the bench. Tough out.
And the pitch is in for a strike, and it's 0-1. Rivera struck out in the 1st inning, and then against Darwin he singled, and against Mulholland he singled. And the pitch, and it's swinging a ground ball, foul. And Bernard doesn't know it's a foul. It all of a sudden becomes the home plate umpire's call because of the 3-man crew.
Well, with Jeff Kellogg out of the game with a fractured wrist, the three-man umpiring crew leaves third base open. And that call becomes the call of Randy Marsh, the plate umpire. Randy Marsh, one of those umpires that gets behind the plate and he tells jokes to the catcher. Whole 9 innings. He keeps things loose back there. Brendan used to say that he'd always pick up some new material just listening to Marsh.
0-2 to Rivera. It's a tie game, 2-2 here in the 8th. And the pitch, and that misses. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Blowing some bubbles. Clinch has got it down yet. Here's the pitch. Inside. On deck is Derek Lee.
That's a veteran move from a mom right there. She's already gone through her tattoos. Tattoos were the 3rd and 4th inning, and now you get late in the game, you break out the bubbles. It's that or spend $200 at the food concession stand. I'm not sure. Maybe mom brought them for herself, huh?
I think so. And whoa, Sweeney was leaning, and he gets back.
This guy's going, man, I wish I brought my bubbles.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Inside, and now a full count. Yeah, maybe the best seat, if you happen to be the right size, is to sit on mom or dad's lap. Dad's got the gamer in the left hand and holding on to Junior at the same time. Runner goes. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out to end the inning. 2 runs on 3 hits. The Padres will strand 1. Home half of the 8th coming up. It's the Padres 2 and the Giants 2. It's the Giants 2 and the Padres 2, and one of the real leaders this year was Mark Gardner, and here's one of the highlights in a good year for the Giants right-hander.
Nobody on. 2 strikes to Stankiewicz. He struck him out. It's a 2-hit shutout from Mark Gardner in Montreal, where it all started. And tonight, in a big day ball game with the Giants, the first game of this series, Gardner pitches a masterpiece. The first 2-hit shutout of his major league career.
Mark Gardner, and truly great to see him back with the club on Friday, and a smile on his face during the celebration yesterday. And he is as big a part of the success of this team as anybody else.
You bet. One of the guys who has pitched so many of the emotional games that this team absolutely had to have. How many times has he taken the ball when the bullpen was beat up and there was really nobody down there to take the ball? He had to give him a day's rest, and he came up big time and time again.
And the pitch to Dante Powell is up and in for a ball, 1-0. Dante Powell batting for the 2nd time. He popped out in the 5th inning, and he's facing Trevor Hoffman. Shortstop is Shipley. Silvio Veras is now at 2nd, and Finley goes to center field. Moving to right is Rivera, and a strike to Dante Powell makes it 1-2. And 1 ball and 2 strikes to Dante Powell. Doug Mirabelli is on deck. And a changeup and a swing and a miss, and Powell is out.
Now that's the pitch that really took Trevor Hoffman to the next level. Always had a great fastball, but he came up with one of the most devastating changeups in the game.
So here's Doug Mirabelli, who has not seen a lot of action for the Giants. This will only be his 7th at bat. He's 1 for 6. And he swings and misses, and it's 0-1, and that's a changeup again.
He just missed it by about 2 feet. That pitch can make you look foolish.
It's especially hard on hitters that aren't playing every day, where they only get a few at bats, and you come off the bench and you're extremely anxious and you're way out in front of everything. Mirabelli pops this one out of play along the right side, and it's 1-2.
This is not going to make the Mirabelli highlight film. It's
4 feet.
All you can do is improve. But you're right. I mean, you sit back, you haven't played in a long time, you finally get an at bat. Guy throws you a 42-foot changeup, and you go to flailing at it. Well, there's been a lot of others in the league who's done the same thing against Hoffman. In 79 and 2/3 innings, he struck out 109 against just 22 walks.
And Mirabelli fights that fastball off.
What Mirabelli should do right now is hit one out of here. And that would be the greatest comeback in a single at bat in the history of the game of baseball.
You bet it would. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Mirabelli. 1 out here in the 8th. And it's low, a full count. I mean, heck, even if you're working for a walk. Destiny, which we have seen a lot of since Rod Beck used that word. Mirabelli gets the walk.
Good at bat, kid. Well, this is the Giants' year, and they have proved that anything can happen. Be a part of the team. Purchase your Giants Anything Can Happen merchandise package for just $24. You can get an Anything Can Happen t-shirt, a lapel pin, a special edition World Giants cap. And you can order the Anything Can Happen package by calling 1-800-GIANT-SF, and you'll have your merchandise ready for the Division Series next weekend.
Here's Marvin Bernard, and by the way, that was the first walk issued by Padre pitching this afternoon. Marvin batting for the second time. He struck out in the 6th inning. 15 pinch hits on the year for Bernard, although he's not in a pinch hitting spot here. Points out what type of job he did when Dusty Baker called on him, and he was usually the first guy called off the bench.
Well, it was one of Dusty Baker's goals today to get Marvin a couple of at-bats.
Mirabelli off of first. The pitch to Bernard, and a strike, and it's 0-2. Marvin may be waiting for the changeup, and he hasn't got it yet. Wilson Delgado in the on-deck circle. Corey Bailey and Joe Becker thrown in the bullpen. Here's the pitch. Strike 3 call. 2 outs. Hoffman strikes out in his second. Here's Delgado.
They sit up outside for 2-strike paralysis, and they get it. Fastball, and here's the location right there on the corner, or just off it. When you hit your catcher's target, you will sometimes get the call, as Hoffman did. Good pitch.
Delgado hit a fly ball to center field. He's 0 for 1, and that pitch misses. 1 ball and no strike. Trevor Hoffman to the plate, and Delgado swings and fouls it back. You always look at to see what These young players do when they get called up to the major leagues and say, well, what kind of year did Delgado have in AAA? And you look and you see Wilson Delgado, who's not a big guy, doesn't look very strong. He had 9 home runs. AAA. He takes the pitch high. 22 doubles, 59 RBIs. Here's a 2-1 pitch. Delgado into center field for Finley. And he will make the catch, and that will retire the side. No runs, no hits. Mirabelli walked, and he is left stranded. Here comes the 9th. Padres 2, Giants 2. We're in the 9th inning, and it's a 2-2 tie, and one of the biggest games of the year. It was the Dodgers series, the second game of that doubleheader. Giants had the bases loaded, and it was up to Rod Beck to try to get out of this situation.
Swinging a chopper to Kent. He has to come home. There's one. The throw to first. Double play! He got out of it! I don't believe it!
Well, that lit up the crowd. It lit up Dusty Baker. And the Giants went on to win that game on the home run we showed you earlier off the bat of Brian Johnson. And what an exciting day that was.
Oh, indeed. That was the series that really turned this race around. Coming into that 2-game series with the Dodgers, the Giants were 2 games behind them in the National League West. When this 2-game series was over, they were tied with the Dodgers, and they went on to, as we know now, to win that division. But what an emotional 2 days we were privileged to be part of and see here at 3Com Park.
Corey Bailey is the new pitcher, as you see Brian Johnson, who is now in the bullpen. Corey Bailey, a right-hander, number 41. He'll be facing Derek Lee. And the first pitch is on the outside corner for a strike. It's the Padres 2 and the Giants 2. Bailey in 6 games. His ERA over 6. 1 ball and 1 strike. Really not fair to get involved in the ERA too much when you've only pitched a few innings. Here's the right-hander to the plate, and a swing and a ground ball. Rich Aurelia behind the bag will throw him out. The steady hands of Rich Aurelia. Here's George Arias, 0 for 3. Arias now hitting .250. He's been in third the whole game, and he takes the fastball up high.
Last time that Corey Bailey worked was against the Colorado Rockies in Coors Field last Tuesday.
Aurelia with another chance in another play. 2 away. $47,968 and lots of autographs on that glove. 1,690,831 saw baseball at 3Com this year. Here's Manny Romero, and he takes a strike. Corey Bailey working to his second hitter, and it's low. Steve Finley is on deck. Giants in the 9th will have Berryhill, Cruz, And Lewis, swing and a miss. 1-2.
Good off-speed pitch from Corey Bailey. Great arm action on that pitch.
Bailey looking into Berryhill, or make that Mirabelli, and the pitch. And he struck him out on a pitch down and in a 1-2-3 inning for Corey Bailey. Bottom of the ninth coming up. Giants need a run to go home. It's 2-2 with Berryhill to lead it off.
Well, we head to the bottom half of the ninth inning with the score tied 2-2. Trevor Hoffman getting ready as he finishes off with his warm-up pitches between innings. He will face Berryhill, Cruz, and Lewis for the Giants.
Well, I guess, Mike, when it's the last game of the season and no postseason, you can pitch Trevor Hoffman all day. Although his arm obviously is not conditioned to do that, but he can be out there for another inning or so.
Hoffman normally the closer for the Padres, but you're right. Last game of the year, basically go down and say, who wants to pitch?
Here's Damon Berryhill. And the pitch, and Berryhill takes a strike.
For the ninth inning for the Giants has been their frame the last couple weeks. They have pulled some dramatics consistently, both at home and on the road.
Here's the pitch, and it's a fastball up high to Berryhill. 1 ball and 1 strike. Gardner watching. Jacob Cruz on deck.
Giants are 23-17 with 1-run ball games this season.
Berryhill swings and misses.
They're 14-2 at home. Impressive statistic.
Not bad, huh? 1 ball and 2 strikes is Berryhill. Stands in, slightly open stance. And takes that pitch up and away. 2-2.
I'll tell you another impressive statistic. The Giants in extra innings this year are 11-2. And both of those stats, the 1-run decisions and the extra inning decisions, just tells you how good their bullpen has been this year.
And a full count now to Damon Berryhill. Hoffman waiting, and now he throws, and Berryhill pops it up. Left side of the diamond, it'll be Arias or Shipley, and it's Arias who makes the catch. 1 out. He's giving J.T. Snow a snowball.
It's 95 degrees.
Look at Benny.
He's saying, bring it on, let's go. Give your best shot.
And he got hit by a snowball. Here's Jacob Cruz. Cruz doubled. And he pops it up. This one will be for Shipley. And he has it. 2 away. And that'll bring up Mark Lewis.
Now batting third baseman, Mark Lewis.
Lewis came into the game, and as a hitter in the 5th inning, he was hit by a pitch, popped out in the 7th. One out away from extra innings. In the dirt, and Romero tried to block it, and it rolls away from him. Benny cleaning his lens.
There's his idol. Not anymore.
Easy, Benny. The 1-0. High. 2 balls and no strikes.
Well, Mark Lewis, a great fastball hitter. He's going to sit on the 2-0 count here. And and hope to get something out of the play that he can drill, and he's got some pop.
Here's the 2-0 pitch, and it's a good pitch low and away for a strike.
Outstanding 2-0 pitch from Hoffman. Good location with it.
Lewis pops this one out of play down the right field line.
Well, Hoffman doing the smart thing. He's trying to stay away from his power. He's staying on the outer half of the plate. If Lewis is going to beat him with a long ball, it's going to have to be to right field. But now he's got him in a 2-strike count, and that's usually the count that Hoffman likes to come at you with a changeup. That's his strikeout pitch.
And it's low, and there it was, and now a full count. And then hoping for a long ball. 3 balls and 2 strikes. See if Trevor Hoffman gives in and throws a fastball. Here it comes, and it's popped up out of play. Giants scored 1 in the 5th inning, 1 in the 7th, and in the top of the 8th, the Padres came back and scored twice off of John Johnstone. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Swinging another pop-up out of play behind us. It was the 8th inning when the Padres sent up some of their lumber that had been sitting on the bench all afternoon. Finley single, Joyner double, both as pinch hitters. Caminiti with the sacrifice fly. 3-2 to Mark Lewis, who now steps out. And immediately back in. Hoffman waiting. And the pitch. And it's low, ball 4. And Corey Bailey will bat.
Babe Bailey.
All right. We'll wait and see.
Giants fans hosing each other down.
Here's a pitch to Bailey, who is batting for the first time, and it's a strike.
No gloves. He's up there commando style.
He's got a pretty good stance, Mike. And he takes it inside.
Well, there is a code amongst relief pitchers that when they face each other in an at-bat, they get all fastballs. And so far, Hoffman has been true to the code.
And the pitch to Bailey. And a swing and a ground ball into right field, a base hit. Lewis will stop at second. And we got action.
What Dusty Baker should do is throw up another relief pitcher to hit off Hoffman. Hoffman shook off the changeup that Romero wanted, and he went right with the code. He gave him a fastball, and Bailey got himself a knock over to the right side. And look at that, even his emblem is starting to peel off. He's psyched.
Well, here's Rich Aurilia. Richie is 0 for 3 with an RBI. Take a look at this knock.
Fastball, nice location. And how about the little whip around? Watch this action with the left arm. Smack. Whirlybird. Woo-hoo, and he takes off.
Here's the pitch to Aurilia. Swing and a miss, and it's 0-1.
I love that.
Kill someone doing that, and the most likely choice would be himself. 0-1 to Aurilia. Dante Powell on deck. Giants trying to win it. And it's inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Steve Baker says, I don't care. This goes on my record overall.
Absolutely. You used to break that momentum up. You've got it going. Giants have won 8 out of their last 10. Like nothing better to finish on a winning note here, wind up the regular season.
And another swing and a miss, and it's 1-2. So Aurelia takes a full walk around Romero and Randy Marsh. And now steps back in. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Hoffman is tough once he gets 2 strikes on. Here it comes. Swinging a pop foul into the seats.
Hoffman is not throwing a changeup to Aurelia in this at bat.
Aurelia waiting as he stands at home plate. And the 1-2 pitch, and Aurelia holds up, but it is a strike 3 call. So Hoffman freezes them to end the inning, and the Giants strand a pair. Extra innings brought to you by Ginsana. When your life goes into extra innings, get the energy of Ginsana, the all-natural energizer. Feel your Ginsana. It's the top of the 10th inning, and it's the Padres 2 and the Giants 2. And Roberto Hernandez in that Dodger series stepped up big. And check this out. On the ground, Vizcaino has it, and this one is over. And game 1 belongs to the Giants, and they are 1 back in the National League West. Well, Dusty Baker enjoyed those 2 games against the Dodgers more than anyone, and at that point did look like destiny. So Rod Beck, who's had such a good year for the Giants, and the brooms are out. This guy brought 2 brooms. Giants are destiny bound.
No, that's the guy that made up the phrase destiny. Combining destiny with Dusty Baker, and that's what you get. And that has been a catchphrase that has really stuck around this 97 Giants team.
Here's Finley. Finley led off the 8th with a base hit, and that's when the Padres picked up their 2 runs. And he swings, and he's got a base hit to center field. So Finley has a pair of hits, and now he's up to the 260 mark. And here's Kilvio Veras, who will bat for the first time. Kilvio Veras hitting 266, 45 RBIs.
It's a good bunter. Situation really is a sacrifice situation for Veras. But it's going to be a tough play for Damon Berryhill because this bunt should go up the first base side.
And he takes it up and away. 1-0 to Kilvio Veras here in the 10th inning.
Tough play because for Berryhill has not taken a lot of those bunt plays at first base. And Veras has good speed. Veras has good speed coming up that line. You don't have a lot of time if you're Berryhill.
And the bunt, and it goes to Lewis, and he doesn't hesitate. There's one, and that's all they'll get as Finley does a good job by taking out Aurelia. The fielder's choice, 5-6.
Well, your job if you're a base runner at first base is if you were going to be out, you've got to prevent the double play. And watch Finley going to the short back side, and he really goes in hard and clips Richie Aurelia on the left ankle. This could have been disaster, Kipe.
You know, Richie didn't really have time to set himself.
At least he got that foot up off the ground. That foot had been planted. It could have been ugly.
Here's Trey Beeman.
but it was clean.
And a pitch out.
Take one more look at Aurelia coming across the bag. And there's the clip. It prevents the throw. And Richie is not digging it, but it's clean. He knows it. But he also knows that some of the time he's going to get somebody with a Padres uniform on the same way. For Finley, it was a good hard play. That's what you're supposed to do. But it doesn't mean you have to like it if you're a middle infielder.
Absolutely. Beeman at the plate, 1-0. Barros with his lead and a swing and a ground ball. Slowly hit. And Delgado has got it, and they turn the double play. How about that? 6-4-3 to end it. The bottom of the 10th coming up. Powell, Mirabelli, Bernard. Stay with us.
NLCS individual tickets will go on sale beginning at 10 in the morning on Tuesday, September 30th. And you can get the tickets where? Well, you can get them at the 3Com Park Gate B ticket window and all Giants dugout stores. Or you can call the Bass Phone Center at 510-762-BALL. Or you can even visit the Giants website at www.sfgiants.com. The Giants home LCS games will be October 7th, 8th, and October 14th and 15th. For more information, call 1-800-SF-GIANTS.
Have a nice vacation, Dodgers. We're going to Florida. Giants rock. Well, Joey Hamilton comes in to pitch for the San Diego Padres. That's right. You heard it. Joey Hamilton, who comes into the season with 29 starts. This will be his second appearance in relief. And he's facing Dante Powell. And the pitch, and Powell swings and rolls it foul. He might have hit it off his foot. Hamilton is tough.
A good hard sinker. At times he can get that fastball up to 95 miles per hour.
And Powell again hits it at home plate.
When you have a sinker, you can pitch anywhere. I mean, you can pitch in the starting rotation role. You can pitch middle relief, short relief, because you're always the guy that can go in and get a ground ball. And ground balls are a commodity. When you have that good downward sink on your fastball, 28 teams want you. And Hamilton's got one with 95 miles per hour velocity behind it.
And here's the pitch, and Powell knew it. Strike 3 call. One out. Here's Mirabelli.
Sort of backdoors him with a little sinker, starts away, and just you can see the movement of the ball is coming right back in there, and this is a perfect pitch. You say, well, gee, it's right down the middle. Well, there's so much movement on it that he gave up on it away. He just came back in and snuck in the strike zone. See you later.
Here's Mirabelli. Walked in the 8th, and he takes the fastball high. Padres pitching now have struck out 14 this afternoon. And that's a way to make it 2-0 to Mirabelli.
Hamilton in 191 innings. That's given him 22 homers.
Outside corner, 2 balls and 1 strike. This is the bottom of the 10th inning. In a 2-2 tie, 10 hits for the Padres, 6 for the Giants. And Mirabelli hits one foul as he got around on it, and it's 2-2.
Mirabelli has some power.
Well, Mirabelli this year hit 8 home runs for Phoenix, and it just misses to make it a full count. 48 RBIs.
Last season in Shreveport, he hit 21.
Here's the 3-2 pitch and a high chopper. Mirabelli, can he beat it out? We'll find out. Here's the throw, and they got him. So Arias gunned him out.
That might be a pretty good race, Kite.
Is that you against Mirabelli or Harvey Hodgeny against Mirabelli?
I had Wilson Alvarez against Mirabelli. Ball hits high off the plate. And for George Arias, I think he was a little surprised to see just how much time he had after he got the ball. Normally, that's a base hit. But Mirabelli's got catcher legs. And catcher legs in September, they can be a little heavy.
Here's Marvin Bernard. And the pitch, and Marvin hits it foul. He actually hit it twice, and it's 0-1. Marvin struck out in the 6th inning and came back and struck out again in the 8th. And that fastball is high. Doug Mirabelli getting some liquids. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and it's a strike to make it 1-2.
95 miles per hour on the sinker from Joey Hamilton.
Trying to find the shade. Here's the pitch. Marvin, foul ball to second. Silvio Veras has it, and we are going to the 11th. A 1-2 inning for Joey Hamilton. The 11th inning is coming up, and it's a 2-2 tie.
Well, the San Jose Sharks are back at the tank, and they're ready for action as they host the Edmonton Oilers. That's in their home opener. You can see it Wednesday at 7:30 on Sports Channel, and we're psyched about that. We've got friends Bernie Nichols and the new coach Daryl Sutter ready to take action at the helm of the Sharks this season, and we wish them the best of luck. See it only on Sports Channel.
They came up and visited with us. Remember that?
Yeah, they said they were big Giants fans, and that's all we needed to hear.
That's right. Well, good luck to the San Jose Sharks.
Warriors about ready to get underway in their new facility.
Here's Shipley, and he swings and it's a foul ball. 0-1.
A lot happening in the world of sports, but right now this is the month where the world turns to baseball, and the Giants get to be part of it.
Shipley lofts it to right field. Jacob Cruz, battling the sun, makes the catch.
Well, not an easy play for a right fielder now.
Shipley flies out.
Well, Glenn Allen Hill and Stan Javier are probably watching this game in the Giants clubhouse right now. They're saying, we know how that feels. Not an easy play for Jacob Cruz, who's earning his stripes, playing the right field position here at 3Com, the toughest in all of baseball.
Chris Jones will be the hitter. Right-hander, put lots of power, very aggressive, and he swings and misses 0-1. And Bailey to the plate, and it's in the dirt. Well, if you're going to play extra innings, you might as well play 15.
Well, let's make it 18.
You got it.
How about break the National League record for the most innings played?
With you. 1 and 2. We don't have to be anywhere. Just on the plane by what? 9:30 tomorrow?
That's right. Have you given our extra inning disclaimer out already?
Well, we've passed it. Here's, and Jones fouls it out of play. We are not held responsible for anything we say after 3 hours or after 10 innings.
Glad you said that, because I'm feeling a little goofy here.
And that is always very dangerous. High to Jones. 2 balls and 2 strikes. It's a game you have to love to want to wish for 18 innings.
Especially on the last day of the year.
I'll only say this because of the outcome. The Dodgers lost today. 13-9 in Colorado. Barney Nugent, one of our favorites. Mark Latan's assistants. He's the vice president of the training room. Outside, a walk to Chris Jones. With one out and one aboard, the hitter will be Ruben Rivera.
Now this is Corey Bailey's first hit. So what they do is they take a dummy ball, and this is what they write on it. Corey B, first hit, jam shot off right field off Andy Ashby.
Runner goes. Here's the throw, and it is not in time. And that'll be a stolen base for Chris Jones, who appears to have injured himself a little bit. Well, judging by that baseball that Mark Baton did, everything's great except the date's wrong.
Well, you do all kinds of things like that. 9/27/97, and then you give it to the guy and say, "Here's your ball." Oh, Corey B. You're going to put Corey B. on the guy's. I mean, you want your first hit to be something special. Well, they actually keep the real ball in a safe place, and they give that to him after they give him the dummy ball. It's become a Giants tradition, something Mark Baton has excelled at over the years. But he sort of toned it down a bit. That baseball there had a PG rating.
Well, that was for TV.
Oh, I see.
There's 3 balls, really. The one for TV, the one that they really gave him, and then, of course, the ball that he actually got to hit. Here's the 0-2 pitch, and it's outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
The ball also said the hit was off Ashby, when in fact the hit was off Hoffman. So they got about 3 screw-ups on the ball. And Corey Bailey's going to have to figure out all of them before he gets the real one.
And low and away to make it 2 balls and 2 strikes to Ruben Rivera, who has a couple of hits. He struck out twice. Lead run at second base with 1 out. A couple of young hitters, one Rivera and another on deck, and Derek Lee. Here's the 2-2 pitch, and it's low. Make it 3-2.
Giants leaving tomorrow for Florida. As you mentioned, Guy, at 9:30. They're due to land in Florida at 6 o'clock.
Swinging a foul.
I've not yet heard as to whether or not they're going to schedule a workout tomorrow evening.
I don't think so. We looked at the itinerary, and it didn't show on the itinerary. Of course, that doesn't mean that Dusty Baker won't get on the plane tomorrow and say, "All right, everybody be ready to go at 7 o'clock." A chopper over the mound. Aurelia has it, and he throws, and Berryhill comes off the bag. So runners will be at first and third with 1 out. It'll be a base hit, and that'll be up to Derek Lee.
Now, a tough play for Rich Aurelia to get himself set and get enough on the throw. Comes way across the bag. He'd been playing in the hole, and he's got to drop down from Laredo, and he throws a 1-hopper, and Berryhill cannot handle it. So a first and third 1-out situation for Derek Lee.
Well, now Bailey will be looking for the double play ball. Runners at the corners with 1 down. Bullpen is quiet for both teams. Here's the pitch. Swing and a foul at the plate. Well, I wonder how our partner Ted Robinson is doing. In a baseball game yesterday, a very exciting one, a long post-game show. Did Stanford football last night. I believe there was nearly 100 points scored in that game. See him over there. He appears to be okay. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and it's outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. There's John and Ted.
John's asleep. Somebody nudge him, will you?
He's checking out his sports track.
There
John
you go.
Miller. 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. 1-2.
Good hard slider from Corey Bailey. Good location. Go right back down there again. Derek Lee going after that late breaking ball. Just underneath the zone.
1-2. Bailey looking for the strikeout or the double play. Here it comes, and a swing and a foul right off the end of the bat.
Yeah, they went right back to the same location, and Lee just got a piece. It's a dangerous pitch when you're going to throw the outside slider to a right-handed hitter with a runner on first base, because you've got a huge hole in the right side of the infield. If a guy makes contact with that pitch, generally speaking, that's where the ball goes. So if you're going to miss down. And there's always a little bit of danger there when you're trying to throw one down to the guy at third base.
Gets a pop-up down the right field line and out of play into the upper deck.
So you have to make a perfect pitch.
You do. And that's why extra innings is tough, because the margin for error isn't very great. 1 ball and 2 strikes. In the dirt, Mirabelli with a nice block to make it 2-2.
That is a nice play by Doug Mirabelli. Keep that ball out there in front, not only to prevent the runner from scoring at third base, but also prevented the runner at first base and moving up to second, so they maintain the force. Gets over, smothers it with his chest protector.
2 balls, 2 strikes. And here it comes, and a swing and a pop up to left field. Marvin Bernard is coming in. If he catches it, he's got a tough throw, and he won't get there. A long run for Bernard.
Well, that may have been a playable ball if it were not for the fact that he had to go over Mount Etna in the Padres bullpen. That is a very high bullpen mound, and he's got to measure this thing off. Take his eyes off the ball right there to get up over the mountain.
Ooh, look out. Corinne said, I could have had that. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Bailey throws, and a swing and a foul in and out of the glove of Mirabelli. And Derek Lee has another chance. $47,968. The paid attendance. Some have left, but a lot have stayed. The last regular season game for the Giants. Bullpen for the Padres trying to help along. Here's the pitch, and that's hit into center field and deep. Powell is going back, and it is gone. So Derek Lee with a home run to center field, and the bullpen is going to take credit. And wouldn't you know it, the ball that went in and out of the glove of Mirabelli. And the first major league home run for Derek Lee, and it comes in the 11th inning. And it knocks in 3. And it's 5-2.
Now Bailey had a slider that just sort of hung out there, out across the plate, belt high. And this is the reaction. They had their rally caps going. When you break out the rally caps, they're going, see, we should have broke this out earlier. Now here's the look at the pitch. And I think that was a fastball type. I call it a slider, but it was still in a hitter's location, out over the plate at the belt.
And the pitch is high to Arias. Here they are. They're going to take credit. Yeah, we did it. Outside to make it 2-0.
How about Joey Hamilton? He comes to the ballpark today thinking his season's over. Finds himself in extra innings coming out and making a second relief appearance, and he's got a chance to pick up a win.
And this pitch is fouled back. 2-1.
He usually has to pitch 7 or more innings to pick up a victory.
You see how Randy Johnson got his 20th yesterday? He pitched the 4th and 5th inning. And that's how he got his 20th. In the Oakland A's were not happy about it. He did not start the game. Hit on the ground to Mark Lewis, and he will throw Arias out. 2 down. Pinella said, I don't care. I wanted to get my guy 20 wins, and he did. Here's Manny Romero. So the Giants will hit in the bottom of the 11th. The deficit will be 3 runs. And Romero grounds it foul, and it's 0-1. There's the 0-1, and it's high. 1 ball and 1 strike.
There's Joey Hamilton. The last thing he thought he was going to be able to do today is get himself in position to get a victory. But the last day of the season is kind of a different day. That's a day when everybody has their toe plate on. Oops.
Easy now. Didn't hurt.
Elastoman. And Manny picks up the spare change.
Strike 3 call, and that will do it. The Padres score 3 times here in the 11th inning, so the Giants will need to come up with 3 to tie and 4 to win. 5-2 San Diego. It's the bottom of the 11th. 5-12-0 for the Padres. 2-6-0 for the Giants. And the folks that have waited around, and there's our gentleman that has stuck around with his microphone called, is a very impressive looking hat.
Well, that thing was ugly at the start of the game, and it's been losing ground every inning. That is a weak lid. But he wears it well. I got to hand it to him. He pulls it off.
Indeed he does. Wilson Delgado batting for the 3rd time. He's 0 for 2, facing Joey Hamilton for the 1st time. And the pitch is outside, 1-0. It'll be Delgado, Berryhill, and Cruz. Swinging a shot, and that may go into the alley. Finley is going to try to track it down, and he knocks it down. And Delgado is going to stop at second, and he has got a double. Only the 7th hit for the Giants.
Well, it's the first hit of the year for Wilson Delgado. First pitch fastball, it just breaks it right out of the middle plate, and he was all over it. The ball very quickly got in the gap. Finley going into a slide to knock it down, but even that will not prevent the speedy Delgado from getting into scoring position. So the Giants not going down easily here for Hamilton in the bottom of the 11th.
Berryhill hits one sharply, backhanded by Kilvio Veras, and from his knees he throws him out. Going to 3rd is Delgado. And here's Jacob Cruz. Giants need 1 more base runner to send the tying run to the plate. Jacob Cruz doubled in the 7th inning and eventually scored on a Brian Johnson base hit. And he pulls this one foul on the Dutyville, and it's 0-1.
Dutyville, named after Darrell Evans, whose nickname was Duty. Used to hit a lot of those long strikes down that right field side. In fact, if the foul line had been over about 60 feet, Darrell Evans would have had 1,400 homers.
Well, we've joked ever since the Giants have put up the numbers down there to indicate the number of days to opening day at Pac Bell Park. Now it's 911. And we've said really what that number is the number of home runs that Darrell Evans hit foul. Swinging off the end of the bat, slow roller to 3rd. Arias has it, and he will take his time and just get Cruz. A run scores, and it's 5-3. And with 2 outs and nobody on, that'll bring Mark Lewis to the plate. Joey Hamilton. Throw. Pitch is low for a ball. 1-0. Lewis hit by a pitch. He's popped out and walked. And he fouls it out of play. There's a rally cap. Turn that baby inside out. Take your chance. Which is high. Well, it worked for one run here in the 11th. 2-1. And the pitch. Swinging a high chopper. This could be the ball game. Shipley has it. And his throw is in time. And that will do it. So Hamilton gives up a run in the 11th. And the Giants will fall to the San Diego Padres in extra innings by a final of 6-3. And Dusty Baker and his Giants will end the season with a 90-72 mark. And they will end the year winning 8 of their last 11 games. And the Giants will be very happy with that. And Dusty is going to go shake hands with Ken Caminiti, Merv Rettenman, Tony Gwynn, a lot of these veterans that Dusty has had some wars with. Bruce Bochy, Sweeney, Rob Pichelot, one of their pitching coach or one of their coaches, and there's Finley. Dusty had Steve Finley on the Japan trip during the offseason last year.
Well, it's a bit of irony type that this last year it was the Padres who won the division and the Giants that came in 4th place in the National League West, and here a year later it's the exact opposite.
All right, Dusty Baker saluting the crowd behind the Giants dugout. 5-3 is your final. We'll have more right after this.
Giants Baseball on Sports Channel is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. With fares so low, you have the freedom to go places. By your local Ford dealer. See your local Ford dealer today and prepare to be impressed. By the Discover Card, proud partner of the Smithsonian's 150th anniversary. By the Pacific Bell Pure Digital PCS. Just ask for the only one with the smart chip. And by Bud Light. If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
Well, it's a final. The Padres win the last game of the year, 5-3. 12 hits for San Diego, 7 for the Giants. Hamilton, the winner, 12-7. Corey Bailey took the loss. He is 0-1, and the only home run hit in the game, Derek Lee hit it. It was a 3-run shot in the 11th, and that was the difference. But Mike, you watch this game, and you can only say the Giants really weren't thinking about this game. They would have liked to have won it. No excuses, certainly. But they're thinking about South Florida, and you can't blame them.
They're thinking about Tuesday, and they're thinking about Kevin Brown, and they're thinking about Kirk Reeder, which will be the first game matchups in the game 1 of the playoffs. But today was a day that allowed Dusty Baker to go out and get the people that he felt needed a couple of at-bats, the Rich Aurelius, the Marvin Bernards, and get everybody just basically sharpened up out of that bullpen. And he accomplished what he wanted to accomplish, and more important than anything else, nobody got hurt. They're going injury-free basically into the playoffs and in great shape.
All right, now let's go down to the Giants dugout and Brian Weber.
Fellas, first, this could be the worst shirt in the history of regional cable television. Coming up on the post-game show, we'll run down all of today's scores. Guys, my first assignment for Sports Channel came back in 1993. It was the Giants opening day. Coming back from that year to this year, it was great yesterday. Great working with the both of you all year long.
Well, thanks, Brian. And yeah, you're right. The shirt is bad, but you know, we just happen to like you, not the shirt.
Gee, you get a free bowl of soup with that shirt?
Yes. Yes, he does. Indeed.
Great job this year, Brian.
Well, the Giants, as Mike said, looking forward to Florida. But for guys like Dante Powell, Wilson Delgado, they not only got a chance to be in a big league uniform in the month of September, but they got to watch the celebration yesterday, and maybe that's more important than any of it.
Well, I think that's so very important for your young players in your organization that you're going to build your future around. Let them come up, let them see what it's like to go down the stretch, see what it takes, what the players have to sacrifice to win ball games this late in the year, and it really makes them hungry. So for the Jacob Cruzes and the Dante Powells, you can't have a better experience than what they had this September, and they helped also win some ball games.
Yes, they did. Well, let's take a look now at our Budweiser Player of the Game, and we are going to salute Dusty Baker and Brian Sabian for such an outstanding job that they have done putting this team together and managing this team. So our special Budweiser salute goes to Dusty and Brian Sabian. Brewery Fresh Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball. For Mike Krukow, I'm Dwayne Kuiper. Brian Weber will be back with more after this.
The National League West champs finished their regular season with extra innings, losing to San Diego in 11. The Discover card, payback, playback features, hijinks, and wackiness. Snow, Bernard, whoa, look out! Time to get wet, and then cameraman extraordinaire Dave Benzer becomes a squeegee guy. There's only one Benny, and that is a good thing, my friends. Welcome back, everybody, for the final time this year. Let's take a look at the scoreboard, and we start in the National League. The Reds pounded the Expos. Phillies edged the Marlins. Sheffield and Johnson went deep. Mets beat the Braves, but Atlanta closed out the regular season with the best mark in the game at 101-61. In St. Louis, Mark McGwire did it again. Home run number 58. Only Babe Ruth and Roger Maris hit more in a single season. Pirates downed Houston in 11. What a year for Pittsburgh with that low payroll. And Colorado finally beat LA. Piazza, home runs number 39 and 40, but Larry Walker has the inside track on the MVP. Over in the AL, the A's will finish the year with the worst record in baseball. They're wrapping up the year in Seattle. They lead 9-5 in the ninth. No homers today for Griffey. Minnesota beat Cleveland. Yankees took care of Detroit. Toronto over Boston, a no decision for Roger Clemens. He ends the year at 21-7 and the likely Cy Young winner. White Sox beat KC. Albert Bell hit his 30th home run. Frank Thomas wins the AL batting crown with a .347 clip. Baltimore beat Milwaukee. Orioles with 98 wins, the most in the AL. And it's a final in Anaheim, 4-0 Texas. We're coming back with a couple final thoughts right after this. The Giants closed out the regular season with a loss to the San Diego Padres in 11. Now it's on to Miami for the division series. Game 1 is Tuesday. Kirk Reeder gets the ball for the Giants. He's been solid all year. Kevin Brown threw a no-hitter at 3Com this year. He gets the start for Florida. Then Game 2 is Wednesday in Miami. Game 3 will be Friday here at 3Com, along with Games 4 and 5 Saturday and Sunday if they are necessary. Well, everybody, the Giants are moving on to the postseason, but this is our final broadcast of the year here on Sports Channel. Another outstanding season for producer Jeff Kuiper, director Jim Lynch, and the rest of our talented production crew. They are the stars of this show, and they put together this look back at the 5 clinches for postseason play by the San Francisco Giants. I'm Brian Weber. Take care, everybody.
Here's one. Here's the pitch. A line drive to center. This could be it. Mays waiting. He's got it. The Giants win the pennant. The Giants have won it, and here's his mouth by the Giants. They won it 6-4 on a dramatic 4-run rally in the ninth. The Giants are going crazy down there. Ground ball is short. This could be it. Fire has it. He takes his time. He throws. The Giants have won it. The Giants have won it, and it's about half as loud as you can expect. The Giants have won it at Todd Martell. Pitches a 5-hitter. They go to the last day of the season to win it.
Swung on, fly ball in left field. Back goes Leonard. He's at the track. He makes the catch, and the Giants have won it. The Western Division. And on the field go the Giants.
team deserved to take a champagne bath this ball club did.
We're going to win it all. That's all. We're going to win it all. You know, we got the momentum going. We got a good, outstanding ball club, and we're a team of destiny.
Okay, you know the inevitable question. They're going to say you guys didn't win. You backed in, but you won 91 games this year.
Well, I don't care what they say. We're going to win. You know, it's backing in. We won. We were at 9-4 at home. We swept the Dodgers. Okay, they swept us here. We won 91 ball games, and that's the bottom line.
All right, Roger, go back to the play-by-play. All right. Live, the Giants have just won the Western Division.
Beck delivers. Swing and a miss! The Giants have won the National League West. And for the first time in 8 years, they're headed for the postseason.
You're watching Sports Channel. We now join our regularly scheduled program already in progress.